everyone! So today I'm going to be doing an American Girl collection video. This was requested, but I was already planning on doing this. It was one of the main reasons why I wanted to set up a YouTube account in the first place, because I love my American Girls so very much, and I just love talking about them and showing them to people. I actually had a collection video filmed before, which I planned to upload, but then in a span of like a few months I ended up getting 2 more dolls. So this is the revised version. We have 32 dolls between me and my sister. 16 of them we had as kids from 1996 to 2005, and the other half we purchased since 2011. So I'm going to show you each doll and talk a little bit about them. My sister is going to talk about her dolls. And if you want to know more, I'll link my Flickr account below, and each doll has like a whole huge story written about her and what they mean to us as, you know, collectors and how they've changed our lives. But I can't possibly say as much as I want to in this video because we're going to be here a while with 32 dolls. So the very first doll that we had was my sister's Molly doll. She got her for Christmas 1996.
I had read Molly's book, I think back the school year before in 2nd grade, and just fell in love with the character. And then when I got my own set of books, I actually realized they made a doll of her, and I was really excited. And I begged Mom and Dad, oh, you know, I want Molly, and I begged, but they initially said no. And then for Christmas, I was really surprised. She has been, like, besides my sister, Molly is my best friend, and we used to go everywhere together. She's, of everything I own, she's my very favorite thing.
She does have silver eye. Molly is all original. We never replaced anything on her.
Shelly did hours of work to restore her to like this good. My
first doll was Addie Walker. Unlike Molly, Addie is not original. This was a replacement head. So I got Addie for my birthday in 1997 when I turned 6 years old. Mom and Dad just couldn't keep me away from American Girl after Colleen got one. And I just loved her ethnic hair. I loved her dark skin. I've always loved ethnic dolls, especially African American ones, so you can imagine how much I loved Addie. But I loved Addie so much, especially her beautiful hair, that I balded her. It's actually a really common problem with Addie dolls, so if you're younger or you're planning on getting a doll for someone who's younger, I don't recommend Addie just because these dolls, even the newer ones, they shed a lot. So this is a new head, like I said, it's from 2003. And this one's even thinned out, even though I was a lot older when I got her. So that's my Addie.
And she's our first doll that ever went to the doll hospital.
Yes. So this was my second doll. I got her for my 7th birthday in 1998. Actually, these 4 dolls, till Kirsten, are all from 1998. I loved Samantha. To me, she is the iconic American Girl. She's the face of the brand. I've always been crazy about this doll. I have 2 other Samanthas, and I call her Luca on and off. It's not her official name, but it's kind of like a nickname. And she's still in really beautiful condition considering how much I played with her. I'm obsessed with this doll. She is very close to my heart. So then this was my sister's second doll. This was the first Josephina doll we had. But Colleen gave me this doll years and years ago. I don't even remember. She decided that Molly was the only doll for her heart. So there's actually quite the story behind Isabel. My sister got her for a good report card, but never really played with her much after, you know, the first few months. So then she gave her to me when I was, I don't know, maybe 10. And a few years later, I had her on my bunk bed, and my dog chewed this leg. I was too afraid to send her to the doll hospital, and my dad was too cheap.
And we missed Addie so much.
Yeah, and Addie had been gone for so long, and it like hurt. So I ended up buying this leg in 2012 off eBay and putting it on myself. It's not perfect, but hey, it's a leg. So then we have Kirsten and Felicity. So these 2 have a really special story. So that Christmas for 1998, Colleen and I wanted to complete the current historical line. So I talked Colleen into getting Kirsten, and I wanted Felicity. We opened them at the exact same time. We waited until all our other gifts were open, and then we like faced the boxes towards each other, opened them up. It was really, really special. So Kirsten's actually my doll now. Colleen never really did much with her because, again, I was the one who talked her into getting Kirsten. And she's actually just gotten back from the doll hospital about a month ago. She had really, really bad silver eye. Like, her pupil had silver in it. I have a video about my experience with her at the doll hospital and before and after pictures if you want to see what she looked like. I was really apprehensive, but I'm so glad I sent her. She's like a whole new doll.
We can't stop staring at her.
And I love Felicity too. So then we have girl of today, sorry. This is Angela and Valerie. So I got Angela for Christmas 1999. She's GT3. I don't really know why I picked the blonde-haired, blue-eyed doll. I guess it was just something I felt like trying out. Personally, the Girl of Today dolls never really tickled our fancy in the way that historicals or the Girl of the Year dolls did, because, you know, they don't have stories, but we still thought that they were really cute, so we tried them out. I got her for Christmas, and Colleen was going to get Valerie for Christmas, but instead she got her in February 2000 for her birthday. So it was like, they're only like a month apart, so we consider them sister dolls. And she is named after Valerie Tripp, the author of a lot of the American Girl stories. So her name is just because I liked it. So we love them a lot, even if Girl of Today dolls aren't specifically the thing we like to collect. So then we're on to one of my favorite dolls of all time, Biddy Baby. Her name is Biddy. Not very creative, I know. I got her for a good report card in 2001 when I was in 4th grade. So I was 9 years old when I got Biddy. She is probably my most played with American Girl, and that includes Out of Addie. I just love her, and even though I usually like ethnic dolls more than like blonde dolls, something about the gray-eyed, blonde-haired baby always drew me in. And you can tell I played with her a lot. You might not be able to tell in this lighting, but she's like all discolored yellow. So that's kind of sad, but I love her anyways. But this is my favorite doll. This is Josefina Montoya. So, warning, we have a lot of duplicates, and we're going to see way more over there, so be prepared, it's going to get confusing. So I wanted my own Josefina doll because I had wanted her when she came out, but Colleen told me I couldn't because she wanted her. So after Colleen got bored of her doll and had trashed it, which, you know, Isabel over here did not look this nice when we were kids. She took a lot of work to fix up. I begged and pleaded with Mom and Dad to let me get her for my 11th birthday. So Dad talked Mom into it because he totally understood why I wanted my own. And what makes her so special is that this was the last birthday gift from my mom, who passed away 11 days later. And if you guys have ever read Josefina's stories, then you would know that she lost her mom in her books. And talking to Josefina, like I would sit and talk to my doll, and I would read her books, and it would bring me comfort because I felt like she understood. And even when I got older and wasn't into dolls for a while, I would still like hold her and hug her when I was sad and upset. She made me feel so much better. I love this doll, and we have a very special connection. For Christmas 2002, so a few months after I got Josefina, I got GT2 Amber. I just felt like trying another Girl of Today doll. It's funny because I really didn't care for her much as a kid, but now that I'm an adult, I'm obsessed with Amber. She looks so good in all kinds of clothes. And I remember that Christmas because it was the first one without Mom. So every time I look at her, I kind of remember that day. And it's sort of bittersweet, but I just really can't imagine my collection without her. She's very beautiful. So, this is where things started getting crazy. So, these 3 dolls, Molly number 2, Kit, and Sam number 2, were all Christmas 2004 presents. We were very, very spoiled. So the story goes that Colleen's Molly doll was in shambles by this time, and my Samantha doll,
leg was falling off.
Yes, was not doing much better. I mean, they both had been restrung by my dad, who didn't want to send them to the doll hospital, but he strung them wrong. He connected their limbs. They couldn't even fit clothes. It was bad, and he didn't want to send them into the doll hospital. They've been fixed since, no worries. So Dad finally said to Colleen that she just needed to get a new Molly doll because hers was so shabby that sending her to the doll hospital didn't make sense. So of course I wanted to get a new Samantha doll. But what ended up happening is Dad ordered Molly and Sam, but I had been thinking about getting Kit. So the next day I was crying about how I wanted Kit. Yes, there were tears.
In the middle of the night,
yeah, I was a really melodramatic, spoiled child. So somehow my dad found out and he let me get Kit too. So he ordered her the next day, but they all came together because American Girl takes a few days to ship. And Colleen got Molly's trunk, so that's why it all ended up being fair. He always spent the same for us on Christmas. So we were very spoiled. And it's really cool that we got to open 2 of our favorite characters. Not together, because I opened her on Christmas. If we weren't spoiled enough, Dad let us open these 2 when the boxes arrived.
And I still actually remember that day.
Yeah, I do too. I remember the like huge horde of boxes. So then we have my last 2 childhood dolls. Kia, I know I'm saying her name wrong, that's just how I've always said it, and Marisol. So, I loved Kia. I wanted her since she came out. I always thought that they should make a Native American Girl doll. My dad always said that, so Kia just reminds me a lot of my dad, and when I wanted to order her, he let me get her for my Good Report card in May 2005, so when I was an 8th grader in school. And I just love her. She's so beautiful. I love the story behind like her special head mold. Kia is an amazing doll. She has very cantankerous hair that I had to flat iron, so I don't really recommend Kia and Josephina to younger kids if you have trouble with doll hair. So then Marisol was the last childhood doll we ever got. I'm pretty sure. I don't think we even got Barbies after her. So I got her for Christmas 2005. There's a whole story behind Marisol, but basically I read her book, and I wasn't previously into the Girl of the Year gimmick. I kind of thought it was like lame because the dolls were only around for 1 year, but I thought she was so beautiful. I loved her stories. So right before Christmas, a few weeks, my dad called, ordered her, but they were all sold out, except for one doll that showed up on the computer. So they actually had to send someone manually down to the warehouse to look for this Marisol doll. So I got the last one that they had in stock at, like, when you call American Girl. They might have had some in stores, I don't know, but that's pretty cool, and she's very, very special. And she was never really played with. I just dressed her up and stuff, so she's in really good shape. So then we're on to
more doll
all of our adult purchase dolls. So that's 16. So a lot of these are secondhand. That's why in 5 years we've gotten so many, because you can get them really cheap at flea markets. So our first one was Keisha. She is with the brown hair and the brown eyes. My dad and I found her at a flea market for $10, and she was the saddest little baby ever. She had like scratches all over the back of her head, which you can see I've touched up the paint. She was filthy. She didn't have a diaper. I just couldn't leave her behind because I need to be a mommy to all of the mommyless babies. I love baby dolls, in case you can't tell. So yes, she was our first American Girl purchase as adults, which was really cool.
I also think she's your most photogenic baby.
She is. She's very photogenic. So then we have Rosalita, who's Josephina number 3, and Molly.
Let's call her Flea Market Molly.
Yes, and Molly number 3. So a few months later, we got her in like October, November 2011, and we got them a few weeks later, so sometime in like November 2011, from an indoor flea market. They were $35 each, wearing their original outfits in really, really great shape. We think they're like late 90s dolls based on some of their features, but Colleen wanted a Molly doll that looked exactly like the one she had from 1996, and this doll completely captures it. And you said she's your prettiest Molly?
Definitely my best looking Molly.
Yes. So.
Although actually, sentimentally, she's probably my least favorite, which is awful.
I know. So these were kind of like one of our last Christmas gifts from Dad, because he passed away later in 2012. So these two are really special, and they're our favorite historical characters. So
it was really nice.
Yeah, because Colleen's
each together.
So much like Molly, and I'm so much like Josephina in personality. So
not in looks, you're not.
Not in looks. I wish. It's really special getting them together. So then we have Miss Jelly. She is just like my first Bitty Baby doll. So blonde hair, gray eyes, a little bit of silver going on in there. She's kind of funny looking. I always wanted an older baby, because my Bitty Baby that I got growing up was kind of like a cusp doll. So this is one of the older ones. Not like an Our New Baby, but probably like 95, 96 when Bitty Baby first came out. And I actually think my childhood one is prettier. But in Jelly's defense, she's funny looking. So I got her for $50 at the flea market with a ton of Bitty Baby stuff. I just couldn't say no. And like, when we were gonna buy her, there was another little girl who was like begging her dad for her. So I'm really glad that we were like paying for Jelly when we did, because we might not have gotten her. I love this doll. So then we have Nellie O'Malley, who is probably the most important American Girl doll in our adult collection. Probably the most important doll in our adult collection. She's what got us really back into American Girl. So in July of 2014, I saw Nellie sitting on a table at our local flea market in a Samantha dress, no tights, no underwear, just shoes with Sharpie all underneath her eyes. Her bangs have been cut, you can see. Her hair was disgusting, her body was totally loose. But she was $25, and I don't know, there's something about her that magnetically attracted me to her, even though I had never really thought about getting a Nellie doll.
Yeah, she went trucking it down the hill when she saw her from a distance.
Yes, I booked. I'm usually very calm and collected at the flea market, even if I'm excited, but I was that excited about Nellie. And after we got Nellie and I fixed her up, I just fell completely back in love with American Girl, and I've been obsessed ever since, and all of these ladies are the result of Nellie joining the collection. And you can actually see some pictures of what she looked like before on my Flickr account and my Dolly Transformations album with the Sharpie. So I wanted to save her because I knew we could fix her. So then literally a few days after getting Nellie, I was on the American Girl website being a doll hoarder, and I realized that they were retiring Ivy. I didn't know at the time that they were discontinuing the Best Friends. I thought they were getting rid of Julie too. And I had wanted Julie since she came out in 2007, but I was pretending not to like dolls back then. You know, I'm a teenager, I'm too cool for dolls, that kind of thing. And I was having a lot of regret because I had always wanted a Julie doll, 'cause she's so beautiful. But then I realized, oh, Julie's fine, but Ivy's not. But I was really sad because Colleen and I never really got to experience the Best Friends because as they were coming out, we were phasing out of dolls. So I ended up ordering Ivy, so she was the first doll we ordered directly from American Girl as adults. She's very special.
She's the first doll in our adult collection that wasn't just like a really inexpensive, opportunistic find.
Yes, we actually like tracked her down. So she's very special. She probably means more to me than my Julie doll for that reason, but I love them both very much. And she arrived on like a Tuesday, a few weeks after we got Nellie. So the story goes that I was going to wait to get Julie for a year or so to see if I liked Ivy. But I'm a hoarder, I couldn't help myself. So I ended up finding this Julie on eBay, and I had a gift card which worked out, and I got her with like pajamas and her pajamas and some books and whatnot, and she was like $100 because I had the gift card, and that was a really good deal because she was like barely played with. And she is a goddess. I think Julie is one of the prettiest American Girl dolls ever. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. So then we're on to Isabel Palmer. I got her in November 2014. Isabel is probably tied with Josephina as my most sentimental American Girl, and that's because her stories changed my life. They made me see myself differently because, like Isabel, I always compared myself to other people, and reading her stories and like I related to her about her relationship with her sister and whatnot. It made me a better person, and for that I'm really grateful. American Girl writes awesome books. I really recommend hers. So we went out and got her at the American Girl store in Boston. It was our second time going to the store, and this was our first doll we purchased there, and right now the only one. It was really special. We got her the Saturday after Black Friday that year, so a few days after Thanksgiving, and it was really, really special. Although incredibly overwhelming to pick out a doll at the store, I will say.
And I must say, she actually, of all the American Girl dolls we've had, that's the only one that actually looked like Shelly did when she was a kid. Like, even the way her original hairstyle was, I didn't realize it until months later when we got the mini doll, but that was Shelly as a kid.
Yeah, the hazel eyes. I had blonde hair, and I used to wear my hair in the little twists. So, then we are on to our 80s dolls. So these are the white-bodied original like German dolls. So Molly and Samantha, gotta have the iconic ones, right? We got them last summer in like July 2015. There's actually pictures of them on my Flickr as well from around the time we got them, and makeover pictures. We were bored one night on eBay looking at our new baby stuff, and somehow we got on the topic of white bodies, and before you know it, we were buying Molly.
You know, it's funny, when she first pointed out the listing to me, I wasn't really that interested, but the more I looked, the more I like really had to have her. And it was funny too because I didn't pick a nice one, and that doll was actually like a train wreck, like worse than the pictures show when I got her. And I just like, there was something about her. It was because I knew that of anybody, my sister had the skills to like make her back into what she deserved to be. So because of that, and because of the fact that I always kind of wanted, ever since I found out white body dolls existed, I always wanted a really old Molly. So I'm like super, super attached to her, which is why my poor flea market Molly is, you know, currently on the bottom.
Yeah, she most embodies the spirit of your childhood doll.
Yeah, I'm crazy about it.
And she took me, like, no lie, 10 hours to fix up. Like, this doll was horrible, like, horrifying.
Every part tried to be clean.
You'll see the before and after pictures on my Flickr and my Dolly Transformations album. It's brutal, like, oh, Molly. We were always squabbling over her schlubby appearance.
I also want to admit, she's the most expensive American Girl doll we've heard.
Yes, she was like, what, 100?
About 140.
Yeah, and that included shipping. If I say the price of a doll, that always includes like the shipping we pay because I factor that in. So, yeah, but she had her whole outfit except her hair ribbons. And I was actually really disappointed when Colleen got this Molly because I'm like, she doesn't look that different than what we grew up with in the 90s. So, I already had her in the mail though, so I'm like, crap, I probably shouldn't have gotten that Samantha. But I'm really glad I did because she's a much nicer doll than her, and she looks a lot different. She has lighter hair and lighter eyes. It's hard to tell in this lighting, but if you go on my Flickr, I have comparison photos and stuff. She's a lot different. She has really long lashes, really light eyes, really light hair. She's beautiful. I got her for like $106, $107. And she's beautiful, but I will say I'm not really a fan of the white bodies. They're hard to care for, and like these dolls' eyelashes shed really easy, so like I don't find them as good quality, honestly, as some of the old, like later dolls. So they're beautiful, and I'm really glad to have them. So then we're on to the last few. So this was the second time that we ever got 3 dolls for one, like, Christmas. Obviously, we got them for ourselves because our parents aren't alive anymore. But we got Emily, Elizabeth, and a Duke, who is my second Addie. So these 2 came from eBay, and a Duke came from American Girl. So Colleen always wanted an Emily doll, right?
Yeah, but I was totally in denial. Like, I was most into the Happy Birthday Molly story as a kid, but as I got older, I kind of fell more for like her other friends like Linda and Susan. But I still always really wanted an Emily doll. It's just she came out, I was too cool for dolls and didn't want to invest in her. When we were older, I just kind of kept putting it off, even though I knew in my heart that I really wanted one. And we watched the Molly movie, and then Shelly's Nellie doll's holiday outfit arrived, and just a few different like things kind of conjoined together to make me realize that I absolutely had to have Emily. And I told Shelly, oh, I'll look at some of Emily's clothes and buy a few of Emily's clothes and then maybe later get Emily. And she's like, don't buy the clothes, buy the doll. If you're gonna buy the doll, just buy the doll.
Yeah, that's why we have so many dolls. And she was, I think, $120, including shipping. Like, still had her box. She was barely played with. She was a really good deal. So then we had Elizabeth, who I actually ordered her the same day as a Duke, but like after, but she came first in the mail. She came the day before. So I always wanted Elizabeth Cole. The Christmas that she came out was Christmas 2005, or she didn't come out Christmas, but that would have been the Christmas I got her. But I got Marisol, who was limited. And it's kind of funny because had we not gotten out of dolls for a few years, Christmas 2006, when Emily was out, we would have gotten Emily and Elizabeth together. It would have been really special because
so it's nice they got here
yes,
together anyway.
I was so excited when they came out with Elizabeth because Felicity wasn't in catalogs back then. We didn't have the internet, so we thought she was just forever gone. So it was really, really special, and she is beautiful. And I got her in a lot with like her holiday outfit and like a little Felicity picture frame and her accessory set, and that was like all for $130. I like to buy them like with extras typically on eBay. That's usually what I do, but Colleen couldn't find Emily with extras, so.
Or didn't want to wait until I saw her.
Yeah, she wasn't as patient as me. I was looking for the deal, and her hair was a really bad mess. I had to redo these pin curls. Like, I had to straighten them and then curl them, so she's beautiful. And I made her these earrings. Ivy has homemade earrings too, but you can't see them. So Duke came from American Girl. So ever since Addie balded as a kid, there had been talk of should we get another Addie doll. But instead I got my childhood doll's head replaced, which I'm really glad with that decision. But I still wanted another Addie. Like, it was always kind of on the back burner, like getting an Elizabeth. And when they ran the sale for 20% off any doll or any full price item on the website this past like holiday season in 2015, I couldn't say no to an Addie. And it's ironic because I would have gotten Grace because she was on sale too, but because I had wanted Addie so long, that's why I got this doll, and her name was a Duke. That's actually Addie's whole name in the stories. And she's really cool. I'm glad I waited because she's got different eyebrows, because she's the Be Forever Addie, so she has, you know, the feathered eyebrows. She's beautiful. So then we have Miss Thomas, who was my newest doll in my original video that you guys never saw. So, I have a whole blurb about her on my Flickr account, like all of these dolls, but basically to summarize, I thought Grace was a kind of dumb idea when she came out, because, you know, Isabel, who was really dear to my heart, had been the girl before her, and I was not happy with the cheesy Parisian baker, but then she won me over. I fell in love. I, like, saw her in a lot of videos and a lot of pictures, saw her in person a few times, and I just couldn't resist her, and I had thought about getting her, but I didn't want to get suckered into like having to buy her before she retired. So I was like, you know, if I really want a Grace doll, I'll get her eventually. And I did. I was able to get her in February 2016 on eBay for exactly what she would have cost to have gotten from the catalog, and that included shipping, like the shipping and tax and stuff you would have paid from the catalog. Like, it was like just about that, like $132, and she was still brand new in her package, like had her hairnet on, the whole 9 yards. The seller was like amazing. And the cool thing about Grace is that I thought her books were going to be super like cheesy, but they're the best American Girl books I've ever read, and I've read like most of them, so they're awesome. And she, in her stories, her made-up town is actually kind of in like the general location that my sister and I are from, and that was super weird when I was reading her book and I realized that. So she's very, very special. I love her very much. And then we have Lindsay, Girl of the Year 2001.
So it was the day after we sent Kirsten to the doll hospital, and the day we sent Kirsten to the doll hospital, I said to Shelly, Kirsten knows we're not really going to miss her because she's going to come back and another doll is going to be in her spot. Well, little did I know
that we found Lindsay on our opening day at the flea market in April 2016, the very next day, and I had never wanted a Lindsay doll. I remember when she came out, I was kind of like, what is this concept? Who is this strange looking doll? And I actually saw a few of these dolls in person, and they never did anything for me. Like, I didn't find her like hideous. I mean, they're American girls, but she just never really like mesmerized me. But when I saw her at the flea market, I got really excited. She had her whole outfit, and she was $75. I thought she'd be a lot more money, so I just couldn't say no. And she's actually got a really nice wig. I mean, obviously I've like, you know, washed it and whatnot, but it was even nice from the flea market. Like, if you see my haul picture of her on my Flickr, you'll see that she was actually in really nice condition, and she's got like a pretty nice skin tone. So it's really cool having the first girl of the year. I just liked her because who does she look like? Grace. Not as pretty, but she looks like Grace. So then, the ultimate doll gluttony. I just got this doll not that long ago, a few weeks ago as I'm filming this, so in June 2016. I liked Jess a lot when she came out, but that was 2006, so she's Girl of the Year 2000. I liked her a lot. I thought that she was beautiful because I love like ethnic dolls, and she's like supposed to be mixed race, like supposed to be, I think, a mix of Japanese and Irish, so she's very beautiful looking. And I had wanted her, but we weren't into dolls, and it was kind of always like this thing where it was like, oh, if I was going to pick a Girl of the Year to have, besides Grace, it would have been Jess. So eventually, I saw her one day when I was looking for stuff for Kirsten on eBay. It was weird. She was in the Kirsten listings. And it was this other doll, and it kind of put the idea in my head. And so for the next few weeks, I was like stalking Jess dolls, and then I found this one, Buy It Now, and we ended up getting her for like $107, including shipping, and she had her whole outfit and even her little backpack, and that's because we got some sort of like $2 or $3 shipping refund, so it was actually a really good deal. And she was in pretty nice condition. I have a whole video of how I made her over and what she looks like before, if you're interested in seeing it. She's really beautiful, and her hair smells really good. I just love her, and she just adds some diversity to my collection. I'm very, very happy to kind of have that fulfilled childhood dream. So these are all of our dolls. I love them all very much. I love American Girl dolls. And I'm happy with how my collection is now, but I definitely am open to the idea of more dolls in the future, but we'll see. We have the space for these guys, so I'm curious to see where we're going to put any others. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and like I said, if there's anything you want to know about these dolls, if you want to see any pictures of them or of their outfits, because I have all of their outfits pictured on my Flickr, I'll link that below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.